This Notebook LM explainer video based on For Humankind with Love reflects on the spiritual meaning of the planetary alignment in May 2000. Dedicated to a beloved dog, Mommy, it blends scripture with personal testimony describing a rooftop candle-lighting ritual seeking divine insight. The celestial arrangement is linked to the seven-branched menorah of the biblical Tabernacle.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the heart of the work. Second, the rooftop revelation of 2000. Third, the great planetary alignment. Fourth, ancient echoes in the cosmos. Fifth, the tree of life. And finally, a 26-year mystery solved. Section 1. The heart of the work. Mommy's legacy. To really understand the immense cosmic scale of this author's revelation, we actually have to begin with something incredibly grounding and intimate. The entire architecture of this profound multi-decade mystery is built on a foundation of pure, unconditional love. This is Mommy. She was a cherished black dachshund who lived from 2012 to 2023. According to the author, Mommy was the brightest beacon of his life. After 11 years of illuminating his existence, she sadly passed away in his arms on Christmas Day in 2023. This devastating loss became the ultimate catalyst. In his search for healing, the author was driven to create a unique and memorable tribute. You see, without Mommy, this entire exploration of cosmic alignment and ancient history just wouldn't exist. To fully grasp why Mommy sits at the very center of this cosmic puzzle, we need to look at the linguistic and spiritual history of the Hebrew word for dog, kelev. It's a beautiful combination. You have ke, which means like, and lev, meaning heart. Put them together and it literally translates to like a heart. The author heavily emphasizes this spiritual perspective, noting that a dog symbolizes absolute faithfulness, unconditional love, and an incredible devotion that really endears them to humans. Mommy was, quite literally, the heart of this entire work. Driven by this profound love, the author published For Humankind with Love in April 2024. His main goal? To ensure Mommy's legacy lives on indefinitely through time. And because this work was forged from such a deeply personal, spiritual place, acting as the ultimate vessel for a sacred Gnostic revelation held secret for over 2 decades, the author insists it is an invaluable tribute. He's absolutely explicit about this. The publication must never be sold. Its purpose is purely to brighten your life, just exactly as Mommy brightened his. Section 2. The Rooftop Revelation of 2000, a 3-day prayer. So we are opening a 26-year-old mystery box here, traveling back in time long before Mommy was even born, to a moment when the author sought answers directly from the divine universe. Just take a look at this timeline. It really puts the vast scale of this story into perspective. In early 2000, the author conducts a vital prayer. Then comes a staggering 24 years of total absolute silence regarding this Gnostic revelation. It's kept entirely hidden away. During that silence, from 2012 to 2023, Mommy lives her life and leaves her indelible mark. It isn't until April 2024 that the work is finally published to honor her, and the ultimate resolution, that final piece of the puzzle, is uncovered on March 27, 2026. I mean, that is a massive chronological arc spanning over a quarter of a century. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the mysterious sequence of events that actually unfolded on that roof. Between February and April 2000, the author held a 3-day prayer ritual right in the still, open air of his rooftop. He was seeking divine insight into the 7 ancient planets mentioned by early historians and into the events that would follow. On the first night, as he lit the final candle, the atmosphere shifted. He sensed a distinct spiritual presence through the flickering flames, almost like someone was softly blowing on them. After that last candle was lit, a gentle breeze touched the wicks without putting them out. The flames bent slightly, once, then twice. Then, incredibly, a sudden, highly concentrated gust blew all the candles out at exactly the same time, completely affirming the moment's significance. The author was instantly convinced an ethereal being had arrived to carry his prayer directly to God. Section 3. The Great Planetary Alignment, a Divine Answer. Not long after that mysterious, spiritually charged night on the roof, an incredible serendipity happened. The author's standard weekly magazine arrived in the mail, And featured prominently right there in the pages was a major article detailing the great planetary alignment of May 2000. For the author, this was a stunning, undeniable parallel. He had literally just asked the cosmos a very specific question about celestial bodies, and a physical magazine had essentially arrived in his mailbox carrying the answer. The universe was aligning perfectly with his request for divine understanding. The article focused specifically on the 7 celestial bodies visible to the ancients: the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. As the author absorbed this astronomical event, a profound connection crystallized in his mind. These 7 celestial spheres perfectly mirrored the 7 lamps of the ancient sacred menorah. It's just awe-inspiring to consider that this ancient temple artifact was reflecting this exact grand celestial layout. He believed beyond a shadow of a doubt that his rooftop prayer had been answered through this magnificent cosmic event. Now, there is a fascinating little detail about the author's specific rooftop ritual. He actually used 9 candles, not 7. Why? Well, with a touch of humor, he admits he just wanted to play it safe. Remember, in the year 2000, modern science still recognized 9 planets in our solar system, including Pluto. Plus, the Hanukkah menorah, which is another vital religious symbol, utilizes 9 branches. But there is a crucial philosophical distinction here. As the author notes, the 9 contains the 7, but the 7 doesn't contain the 9. This brilliantly bridges the modern astronomical understanding of the year 2000 with the foundational, ancient wisdom of the 7-lamp menorah. Section 4. Ancient Echoes in the Cosmos. Historical Wisdom. To validate this profound celestial connection, the author didn't just rely on modern magazines. He dug deep into historical texts, seeking the wisdom of antiquity to prove that the menorah was always meant to represent the solar system. He turns first to Flavius Josephus, the legendary first-century historian. Josephus is renowned for monumental works like Jewish Antiquities, which painstakingly chronicle the history and traditions of the ancient Israelites up to his own era. He serves as an invaluable, highly authoritative primary source for understanding how ancient symbols were truly perceived by the very people who built and revered them. And Josephus's own words perfectly validate the author's revelation. He explicitly wrote, quote, "Now the 7 lamps signified the 7 planets, for so many there were springing out of the candlestick." And this brilliantly illustrates that this isn't some modern reinterpretation or convenient theory. This is a first-century historian stating as a matter of historical fact that the physical design of the menorah was an intentional, physical map of the known planets. The author then consults Philo of Alexandria, a pivotal Jewish Hellenistic philosopher, also from the 1st century. Philo is famous in philosophical history as the very first thinker to attempt a grand synthesis of revealed religious faith with rigorous Greek philosophical reasoning. He interpreted ancient traditions through a deeply cosmic and philosophical lens, searching for the universal underlying truths mapped onto physical rituals. And what Philo describes is absolutely fascinating, especially when you remember he lived in a geocentric era. He writes, quote, "For the sun, like the candlestick, has the 4th place in the middle of the 6 and gives light to the 3 above and the 3 below it." So the crucial point is, long before modern heliocentrism, Philo is spiritually placing the central shaft of the menorah as the sun, bringing cosmic harmony and light to the 3 planets orbiting on either side. It is a profound, ancient acknowledgement of the sun's central, life-giving role in our universe. And this isn't an isolated theory contained to just 2 men. The source text comprehensively compares diverse historical records. From deep Jewish traditions like the Midrashic texts, including Midrash Tajdei, Midrash Bamir Bar Rabbah, and the Targum Jonathan, all the way over to Hellenistic scholars like Clement of Alexandria. Across all these wildly different traditions and eras, there is a stunning universal alignment. The 7 lamps of the menorah flawlessly correspond to the 7 major celestial bodies, reflecting a grand, harmonious cosmic architecture that unites humanity. Section 5. The Tree of Life, Cosmic Vitality. When visualized based on these ancient texts, we see the cosmic menorah in all its glory. Notice how the sun proudly holds the central 4th place, exactly as Philo described, flanked by the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is the ultimate embodiment of the universe's harmony, showing how the sacred candelabrum physically mirrors the actual cosmic forces rotating in the dark expanse above our world. The author concludes that the menorah is far more than just a physical piece of metal meant for a temple. When you combine its planetary symbolism with its traditional botanical motifs, like its branches and ornamental pomegranates, it transforms into a cosmic tree of life. Just as the sun and planets provide physical light, shifting seasons, and growth to the earth, the menorah's celestial illumination brings forth spiritual blessings, continuous sustenance, and sheer uplifting vitality to all of humanity. Section 6. A 26-year mystery solved. Let's move to and see how this builds toward our conclusion, closing that vast chronological gap and returning to the emotional core of this explainer. Notice Mommy, the beloved Kelev, standing before the vast cosmic seven-branched menorah. This image brings the entire sprawling narrative full circle. The grand sweeping architecture of the cosmos, the ancient wisdom of Josephus and Philo, and the monumental alignment of the planets, all of it is anchored by the pure, unconditionally loving heart of a dog. It beautifully connects the macrocosm of the infinite universe to the intimate microcosm of Mommy's devotion. Yet, despite understanding the grand cosmic alignment and deeply honoring Mommy's legacy, one final, awe-inspiring question lingered in the author's mind for over 2 decades. Who exactly was the ethereal being that visited that open-air rooftop in the year 2000? Who softly blew out those candles and collected the prayer? Well, according to the author, the stunning answer to that silent 26-year mystery was finally uncovered on March 27, 2026. It really leaves us to ponder. When we send our deepest, most profound hopes into the night sky, driven by pure love, exactly who or what is listening in the cosmos?